So Wadi Crap Dupont. Welcome back to
What
Ideas.
Dupont?
Isn't that everyone?
ทุกคน
Dupont, that's what I said.
No.
Wadi Crap Dupont.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Idea Studio for our weekly live stream. I am Dana.
I'm Jip.
And as always, we pop in here on the weekend, give you guys updates on some of the projects that we're working on, talk about, what's going on in Thailand, mostly in Bangkok, and just hang out. So jump into the chat real quick, see a few guys in here. Of course, we got Chris over in Oz yawning because it's early morning for him.
Is it?
His
His time is ahead.
Chris's days kind of merge all together. He says he's retired, but then when I talk to him, he's working on this project, working on that project. Something's going on. So I think retirement might be a myth for him. And his days, just because he works with people all over the world, just kind of merge together. Seth, what's going on, my man? How's life in OKC? Enjoying the winter? Eric, what's going on? How are you? You still in Bangkok, right? Yeah, so pretty good week overall. Looks like the chat's lagging behind a bit, considerably.
Yeah.
Right? That's weird.
Maybe system not work well today.
Yeah, which is weird because usually this is the one that's live. This is the one that's ahead. Yeah, because this is actually from the... interesting. Well, let it catch up. Very interesting. So yeah, it was kind of a good week, right? Overall. Like a lot going on, but is what it is.
For me,
Yeah.
the time stopped when I walk into embroidery room. I just sit there, don't know what
Frozen
happened.
in time.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with with the comments being frozen. Give it a minute. Maybe I refresh it. See what happens. There we go. There we go. Q&A over in On Note. We saw you last night, brother. How you doing?
Do you have breakfast yet?
Still full? Nailed it. Yeah, nailed it. Chris is unable to retire. It's a myth. Never going to happen.
That's good.
8:03 p.m. OKC time. Nice. Cold, I imagine. Cold. This time of year, especially in the middle of America, is freezing. And like tons of snow, ice cold, just not good. Not fun. Nice, back in Bangkok. Oh, what'd you think of Siem Reap? I've been once, like 20 years ago. I enjoyed it, but it felt very... You could tell, one, it had been kind of like beaten up over the during the Khmer Rouge, with two, like, any area that's only focuses tourism always feels a bit kind of forced. My thinking. Hit me up on Instagram, Eric, while you're still in Bangkok. We'll try to meet up like we talked about. I would like that a lot. I got some time this week, can make it happen. But there's a fun story from Pattaya I want to talk about this week, because this one I think is like so Pattaya. And this guy was driving around in a Bentley that apparently belonged to his friend.
Not his car.
No, some woman's.
Okay.
And he was driving around with, it was a Thai woman who's not in the country. And this guy's driving around Pattaya with a lion in this convertible Bentley. And there's like footage of like, he's got the lion wearing a collar, like a regular, probably a dog collar, because I imagine a cat collar doesn't fit.
It's young lion.
Yeah, and it's hanging out the side, top down on this Bentley. Also, first of all, like who's out there driving convertibles in Thailand?
It's Pattaya.
It doesn't make sense. It's hot and sunny. Who's driving a convertible?
It's evening time.
No, it was daytime.
It's not like midday.
Anyway, crazy for owning a convertible in Thailand.
Correct.
Two, you got a lion in the passenger seat, right? Hanging out the side, wearing a collar, and people are driving by on scooters, getting around this Bentley, and like the lion's like sticking its head out. I would be I'm not passing that car, right? That's all there is to it. I'm on my scooter. I'll wait. I'll take another route. I'll do
But
something.
that's a small lion.
It doesn't matter what size. A lion is still a lion. It will kill you. It will kill
It might
you.
be trained lion.
You can't train a lion, right? Even people who like what was the guy from Vegas?
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy. That guy got
That's a tiger.
the same thing though. It's a wild animal. You can't train it. Cannot train it. So anyway, yeah, he's facing charges now. But that's a wild story.
So actually, by the law, you can own a lion or
Yeah,
an other animal.
It is
but
legal.
It has
Let's make that clear.
register, and they have to stay in a place that control and register.
Yeah.
Cannot like just bring them to the car and drive around. No, cannot. But if you have like
Oh, the chat's freezing again.
somewhere like
Yeah.
sanctuary for them, just they stay there. That's fine. I think that guy will just to show up that he has a lion.
Maybe. I mean, look, if you. Yeah. Look, crazy. Eric says he has mixed feelings about CM Rep. The ruins are unreal, photographic dream, but Cambodia is complicated, man. I mean, it has been since I went there 20 years ago. I'm sure for decades before that. But even CM Rep, you can tell like they rebuilt a lot of those ruins post Khmer Rouge, and there's areas where it's all stacked up and. Like, you can tell they rebuilt it with the wrong parts, or they kind of forced it to be what they wanted it to be. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, but they've essentially lost their culture as a people.
Because from what I read, it's like they kill scholar
Yeah, anyone who could like speak a foreign language, anyone who went to college, like
who know
yeah.
who in academy,
Yeah.
they have to even run away or get killed.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Keone says he's not even hungry yet.
Until next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So last night we met up with Keone. We went for this buffet place out on Sukhumvit called Best Beef. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. It's like is it a 2-hour time limit, babe?
Yes.
Yeah. And then basically it's one of those places you just order and then they bring everything out to you, cook it on the charcoal hot pot in front of you. Which I don't know if that's the type of charcoal that Uncle Craig's planning to use for his coal-fired pizza oven. We gotta see. I don't know if it's hot enough. Like I feel like, also it's an open thing, right? So
And it's a small stove.
yeah, there's only 3 pieces in there. But anyway, it'll be interesting. Seth's saying it's warm in OKC, warming up a little, 43 and rainy. It's like 10 degrees, babe. Not even. Of a few days, 60 and sunny next week. Probably back to feeling Oklahoma. Weather changing. Back to freezing. Yeah, in New England especially, I remember like you get these huge weather shifts like midday, like mid-season, right? So it'd be like freezing one day, warm the next.
Okay.
And your skin would get wrecked, right? Because it's like super dry and cold, and then your skin dries out. Then it gets a little warmer, and your skin doesn't know what to do. Yeah, and like you get like dry skin all over it. Not good. Here, you're just always sweaty, so your skin's always purging itself. And it's warm, right? I think the warm is better for your skin than cold weather, just in general. I don't know why this is so... Oh, something's going on where it's just everything's like...
What?
See how it's staying selected?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, I thought the lion story it's the most Pattaya thing, right? Like, you could see that guy going to like a go-go bar, going in with his lion. Now, to Jib's point, right, and it's like this in America, too. If you have an approved facility and you apply for a license and you get it, you can own a lion, right? There was that whole thing in Ohio a few years back where this guy who owned like a ton of tigers and lions and bears, oh my, killed himself and opened the gate and let them all out into his community.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, but he did it legally. There's the whole Tiger King thing, right? The TV show Tiger King. That was in Oklahoma, wasn't it, Seth?
Not in Florida?
No. Surprisingly enough, not Florida, but I think the woman Carol Baskins, who they said killed her husband and that Tiger King tried to kill, lived in Florida. So there's of course a Florida element to it. I mean, Joe from Tiger King definitely feels like he should be in Florida. Like he's like he should live in
Or
like
maybe
the.
he's from Florida.
No, he's from Oklahoma.
Oh,
But like he definitely
okay.
feels like he should be like one of those like not Oklahoma, like Florida Panhandle swamp kind of guys. Like that feels like Joe from Tiger King, and yeah. So I mean that does feel like what he should be. But no, he was an Oklahoma guy, but I think, or maybe it was maybe it was Nebraska. I don't know. I think it was Oklahoma. Anyway, but oh yeah, see now I gotta refresh again because this is killing me today. But unfortunately, there's no way for me to check this, and it keeps popping up with that first message. Yes, Tiger King was Oklahoma. Yeah, oh Eric, yeah, I totally feel bad for the big cats as well, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not for owning a big cat or a big safari animal as a pet. I also feel bad for it. I'm just pointing out that it is technically legal, right? So owning the cat, if you do it properly, is legal. Legal doesn't mean right, doesn't mean ethical, doesn't mean moral, doesn't mean that's best for the cat, but it is legal if you do it properly. This guy apparently didn't, though. He didn't have the license, and the guy who sold it to him is in trouble now as well for selling it to someone who doesn't have the proper paperwork. Yeah, because like the onus is on the guy who sold it to check everything. You can't just I can't go in and buy one, right? So like that's why this guy is in trouble as well. But yeah, I definitely feel like that's not great.
So the thing is, like, when you make it on screen,
Yeah.
so when people focus on you,
Yeah.
and if there's something wrong or something tricky,
Yeah.
there will be someone find out and like sue you later.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say like not worth it for that guy. But also again, I feel bad for the cats as well, man. I don't think they should be living in like domestic places, or especially in Pattaya. Lions shouldn't be living in Pattaya. There's enough small cats in Pattaya, if you know what I mean. Different type of pussy cat floating around Pattaya. Anyway, another story that came up this week that I thought was interesting. I had mixed feelings on this. Not for the idea. I like the idea domestically and economically, but I have like some misgivings for it politically. Is the PM announced he wants to try to focus and make Thailand an aviation hub for Asia, not just Southeast Asia, but Asia. Oh yeah, oh man, this is killing me with Yo, Darren, what's up, man? So actually, real quick, let me throw out there that Darren dropped a new link. Darren, please throw the link to your song to pre-save in the chat for us so that everyone can go pre-save this. He's got a new song dropping on Spotify, and he wants to get all the pre-saves to try to help him get on some playlists. If you guys don't know, Darren scored the Ghost Tower documentary for him. He did an amazing job. And his new song is an absolute banger. I think you guys will like it. So, Darren, please grab the link for the pre-save for Spotify. Throw it in the chat. If you don't mind, throw the SoundCloud one as well. Up to you. But amazing song. Really cool. You might have heard me listen to it yesterday, babe, with it's got all that like old tech, all the old dialogue in it. It's like an EDM track. I don't know if it's EDM. I'm probably saying the wrong thing. It's a dope track. Darren, if it's not EDM, please correct me. but yeah, overall amazing track, really great, and I liked it. But be warned that the link is for what is it? It's for web only. Like, don't use it on mobile; it won't work. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Joe today? That's a good question. I should message him. Actually, I might be able to get the link for Darren's thing. Let me see here. I think because I can copy between my phone and computer fairly easily. Let's see if this works. What is it? I gotta go through all the memes I send Darren. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Huh?
Hi.
Let me see here. Let me see. A lot of pizza stuff going between us. I think it's up here. So, babe, what do you think about the aviation hub plan?
It's good for business, I guess. But is it really like, what are you gonna do? Build another airport or what? I know that there's a project like they are building the train that connect the 3 airports. But I don't know what else they're gonna do.
Well, yeah, they also talked about they want to build bigger regional airports in secondary, tertiary cities.
Like where?
Hat Yai. They want to improve those airports, and then they also want to like get more reciprocal visa things going on to attract more people. Here's the thing. I think it's a good idea to invest in infrastructure that's going to bring tourism to your country when tourism is like a third of your GDP.
Yeah.
That's a good plan. My issue is that historically there's been very little political will to carry on with projects, let alone during the prime minister's time, right? And you can't, I would say it's foolhardy to assume as prime minister in Thailand that you will exceed 1 term. That just doesn't tend to be the case. So, historically speaking. So, with that in mind, while I think it's a great plan, and I think it's a great idea to try to increase tourism through aviation and transportation infrastructure, I feel that the idea of it being more... I feel like the idea that it's going to be focused on long-term government development is going to be a challenge to see it continue. And then
Correct.
my fear with that is that it becomes a half-hearted project that loses steam, and all of the money that went into developing infrastructure fails because the next administration doesn't utilize it.
Possible.
Now, this is not a unique Thai problem. This is just a government problem in general. Unless you have like a dictator that is always going to be in power and says like, hey, do this because blah, then the next political party is going to come in and want to change. They're going to want to do their own thing. They're going to say like, oh, that's a bad idea. Let's do this. And I think we're seeing that with cannabis at the moment. Like under the previous government, the health minister, Anotin, wanted to legalize cannabis, and there became this loophole to make recreational available, and now the government wants to roll it back, right? And so like those political winds change regardless of economic benefit or not. They're going to want to get rid of it. I think we've seen the same thing with the rice schemes in Thailand. Like the subsidy, we went from a subsidy model that was fairly traditional model of subsidies to that crazy buy and hold scheme that obviously did not work out well. And also took Thailand out of the number 1 production spot for export, the number 1 export spot. And now we're back to like a similar subsidy program. So, but not as strong as it was prior to the buy scheme.
Subsidy, it was like government will help you by the number of the rye that you hold.
Yeah.
Like okay, this family, this
by
farm,
the rye, right?
Like how many rye you grow the rice. They will have like a record for that, and they will like write down like they may have the the maximum that how much they can support for like one farm. So with that, it's like they have to check
Yeah.
by the land, number of the land to grow the rice. But the failed corruption rice scheme one, it's like, okay, you just bring rice to the warehouse,
And they buy it
And
at
they
a
buy it.
fixed rate, and then they wait for the market price to exceed that.
which is
Not a
they
good
find
idea.
out that that's rice from other place that not grow in Thailand.
No, but not just that. It's
Come
just
in.
a poor economic decision to
Yeah.
hedge on the.
Correct. That one's so stupid. And the thing is, rice from somewhere else that not grow in Thailand come cross border
Yeah.
and get that money too.
But here's the thing: despite rice being like something that you can really kind of save long term, it is a perishable good, right? It's a grain, and there's things about it like you buy it at a certain like water. They check the water level in rice, the moisture. It has to be pretty low to sell it. But you know they were keeping it in just open warehouses, so that moisture level with the humidity in Thailand varies up and
Yeah.
down. You have all types of things that go on with a good like that. So it turned out to be just a bad scheme. Then obviously the corruption side of it, they found there was rice missing. There was bad rice that had gotten like infiltrated with rodents and insects and destroyed. And so yeah, it's not the greatest of ideas, if you will. But anyway, real quick, guys, the link that I posted in the chat here, this hyperfollow link, I think someone check that it works. Because it looks like it was truncated when I copied it over, so I apologize for that. Let me pull this up and do this, and then here, and copy link. Let me see if that... Oh yeah, here we go, bubble switch. There we go, that's the one. So, I gotta refresh this now. There we go. Here,
Same.
this one, oh, same thing. It just keeps truncating it. We'll check that link, see if it works for me, guys. Oh, it works, Chris said. Nice. So yeah, if you don't mind, help Darren out, and check out what. Again, man, this refresh thing's killing me today. What Darren say? But it's not a. Oh, let me see. Did it go?
Maybe send link to you, you post it.
Yeah, I've got the SoundCloud link. I'll throw it up. But let me. But yeah, do me a favor and go and subscribe to that or follow that song before it drops on Spotify. Help a brother out. Let's see where I gotta scroll back now. Here we go. Here's the SoundCloud. All right. Go give this one a listen, guys. Boom. There we go. I saw that. Oh, Mr. Yule, what's going on, man? No, never late. You're perfectly on time. Always on time, right? As long as we're still streaming, you're on time. Seth, I really like lo-fi as well. When I use my DJ set, my deck, and I mix, I like to mix with some lo-fi stuff. And there's a lot of great lo-fi hip-hop stuff out there, and mixing some. Usually, when I'm doing a set, I try to mix in some movie dialogue with my lo-fi and throw some filters over it and be fun with it. But I haven't played with it in a while. Most of the time, I'm just using this to mix audio for film projects. Where, like, if I need to loop something or whatever, that easiest way for me to do it. Yeah, this chat thing today is killing me. I don't know what's up. I don't know why it's not working. So here we go. This is the SoundCloud. Definitely give this song a listen. I think this is amazing. Really one of the best. What the hell is Keone says it works on his iPad? Damn, it wouldn't work on my phone at all. It kept like crashing and like locking it up. Keone's gonna say I need a new phone probably. Gotta go to the Apple store. But anyway, back to the transportation thing. Like that's my biggest concern is that it just loses steam and then we end up with a bunch of wasted money and infrastructure.
Possible?
I think like again, I think it's a bit foolish for a PM to think ahead like more than their own term. And unless they have a way to put a project in place that the parliament then has to just sort of renew it. Right? Where when you need like these multi-phase generational projects, I just don't see the political will in Thailand to keep those types of things going. And there's no party that's populous enough, I think, to vote election after election. I think Thaksin's party had that type of staying power, just based on their voter base. Like, regardless of him in office or not, and like, this is not a thing about Thaksin. Like, I'm not going to talk about like or dislike him or whatever, but I mean, his party seemed to be motivated and big enough. Well, not his party, but his supporters of that party seem to be motivated and big enough to continually elect that party to office. Now,
Because of all the campaign, it just like give things to people for free.
And that's part of what politicians do, like it or not. Like that's, you've got to.
Yeah, like they say, gonna get 10,000 baht to everyone who ordered in 16. That's how they get a vote.
And again, that's how politicians do it. No matter where you are, there's always, in some places it's a little bit more subtle, but
say they cannot pay because they don't have money unless they have to get a big loan from don't know where.
Well, PETA says he wants, not PETA, the PM, what's his name, Seta? It makes me, but he says he wants to make it a e-wallet thing that he owns, right?
Because somehow he invests in the coin or something with the something like crypto or coin.
Yeah, he owns his own crypto thing.
A lot that now is crashed, like no value at all.
Yeah.
So for the 10,000 baht that he said he gonna give away to everyone who ordered in 16, that they can buy stuff from the business
that he owns. No, I'm just kidding.
And then, but the thing is, like, okay, let's say I go out and I buy food from a restaurant. The restaurant have to hold that coin for
And
the 6 months before.
Before they can do anything.
3 or 6 months before they can convert that coin.
So it could crash in value.
Like cash.
Yeah.
And with that, it's like the place, the business that gonna get the cash back must register in tax system, which is think about the food cart order.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever pay tax.
No.
That means they cannot get cash.
Well, also, and we know that the price of crypto is volatile, so you could take that coin today where it's worth quite a bit and then it crashes. If you have to wait 3 months, let's say it's 3, not 6. If you have to wait 3 months to convert that to cash or to use it for your business, you've now, let's say it crashes by 50% value.
Yeah.
You've now lost 50% of the money that you made. It's just, that's a bad idea.
Yes. Which is when he launched this campaign, he said like our economy just like go down. So people need cash, need money to live, which is it's already a year after he get elected that nothing happened.
Yeah.
And how urgent is it? Like
Exactly.
we don't have it and we still survive.
Keone brings up a good point, like about longevity of product. If you're able to secure these sort of reciprocal visas with countries, those will last beyond political party, right? Those have some staying power as long as like both countries continue to honor it. And yeah, that's only one part of it, right? That's just a small part of the project that brings people to it. It's not, you still need all that infrastructure, and those infrastructure projects take more than one term. That's the thing. Yeah, something to think about with that regard. So, kind of building on that, there's also a new Muay Thai visa that's been announced. That's good for 90 days. Now, there's already an existing like Muay Thai education visa that's been announced. I think it's also a 90-day that you can renew every 90. But this new one's supposed to be more streamlined apparently and not fall under the education category. Now, for whatever reason, maybe they're trying to restrict that education one to higher learning type institutes. Because I think everyone's heard about like the sort of scams where people they sign up for these language schools to get the education visa, and then they show up once a week to take a 30-minute class or whatever and sign the book so that there's a record of their attendance. Very, very dangerous way to go about it. But some people do that. And I know people who have had issues with that coming back into the country who got, denied entry. So that's a real thing. But the new Muay Thai one, it's interesting. I think Muay Thai, with combat sports being probably more popular now than they've ever been, I think that's smart. Thailand being the home of Muay Thai, right? One of the most kind of popular sort of bases for combat sports.
So I think as is named Muay Thai, so we is a home of Muay Thai.
Clearly, but I mean, I think, like I said, with combat sports being more popular now than they've ever been, right? I think it's the right thing to sort of build on top of that, and it could very well be like a soft power type of thing, right? Like you really start to entice people to come to Thailand to experience it, in very much the same way that Thailand did with Thai food. That you take you take all the people who are chefs in Thailand, give them loans to open restaurants overseas, right? People then learn to experience the culture through the food, and you adjust the menu to be more palatable to like the local sort of taste. Unfortunately, that's how you end up with ketchup pad thai, and like chicken and beef pad thai, and all of these like non-spicy curries that exist in America. The lack of fish sauce, but it's still something that opens up the window for people to see. Like, I'm pretty sure the first time I ever had Thai food was, it was like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was probably through one of these restaurants that was opened as a result of the soft power initiative. Right, so I probably would
not the Chinese restaurant that converted to Thai.
No, that was later. I think Thai food had to become popular for that to happen, right? And it was, I'm pretty sure, like I said, the first time I ever ate Thai food was probably through one of these sort of soft power restaurants that the government put out there. And 20 years later, I'm living in the country. So that's probably a big part of it. And I think they could do the same thing with Muay Thai, right? There's a lot of sort of qualified Muay Thai instructors that you could put on a similar loan program, get them out into the world. And there's Muay Thai gyms all over the world now, but you could increase that number and really kind of, build more of a base for it. And I think like really if you think about it, ultimately like K1 was more of like a kickboxing. What was kickboxing rules, not Muay Thai rules. And then probably One Championship now is the only really big Muay Thai centric event that you see on TV. Even though they do MMA and kickboxing as well, but they have a lot of Muay Thai stuff, and they do fights in Lumpini. So they took over one of those Lumpini TV deals. So there are outlets for it on the world stage, and I think that's important, to the overall aesthetic of it, to the overall growth of the sport, into the soft power of it. I think it's interesting, and I think more people would come if they know, oh, hey, I did Muay Thai at this gym in America, excuse me, and now I could go and get this visa to go to Thailand for 90 days, improve my skills at a gym in Thailand. And, maybe it's just my generation too, like people who are around my age who kind of grew up watching like Bloodsport, or like, all these Van Damme movies where like Thailand is like a focus of, like in reality, right? Like, kickboxer, right? These are people who like, they went to Thailand and trained in the movies and they're badass. And, like maybe this generation doesn't have that, but maybe they could, and it could just be something different. Soft power, Thailand, soft power. Oh, the chat thing is so failed today. It's killing me. I gotta refresh every time I want to scroll. Let's see. Seth, do you have a Muay Thai school you'd recommend? I think, well, it depends on, all right, what you want to train, how you want to train, Seth. Like, if you just want to come here and train, like, kind of casually, I think there's a lot of just great schools in general in Thailand that you could pop up in and train at and, like, really have that kind of experience. Anywhere from Bangkok to Pattaya, like Fairtex is in Pattaya. They have a whole resort. There's a whole street in Phuket full of gyms. But if you want to come here and train and like be a fighter, right? There's some really hardcore gyms. Fairtex obviously is one of them. Like, you can get hardcore training there. It's a resort, but it's also, one of the most famous fight camps in the world. Bang Tao in Phuket, which the guys from Tiger, the head trainers, all left Tiger and opened up Bang Tao. So it's like guys who have trained like world champions, UFC champions, like they left Tiger Muay Thai and opened up Bang Tao. And like, if you want to train like hardcore, like that's where I would go. Like, for sure. Like, the Hickman brothers, Alex Schild, who's running their BJJ program, like some of the best in the game. And just they've really put together a string of like just really quality fighters because of their training methodology. Like, I'll tell you, there was a girl who I reffed one of her fights. No, I judged her fight in Phuket for this organization, Primal, years ago. They've defunct since. But at the time, this girl was training at AKA Thailand. And they even had like a special rule set for this girl to they were trying to like make it so she would win this fight. And she was an Australian girl. And she just got worked over. Like, there was this whole thing where like takedowns were worth like a ton of points in this fight. So it's supposed to be like mixed rules, Muay Thai with takedowns. And she fought a girl who was just straight Muay Thai, had never trained MMA, and she just got worked over. Like, she got picked apart on her feet, and then the Muay Thai girl was just taking her down, sweeping her, throwing her on the ground at will. And like, you kind of like sort of fight like, wow, it's really like coming out of AKA. Wow, like you didn't expect to see that. At the time, we didn't know the training there was really kind of focused on just a few people. And so I hadn't really thought about it. And then years later, she switched to Tiger at the time when the Hickmans were there. Alex Schild was there. And she ended up getting onto the One Warrior series, where it was like this development league for one championship. And I watched a couple of her fights and just blew my mind. Like, she, like, night and day, right? And like you wouldn't have even thought she was the same fighter from when I saw her fight on Primal. And like, the only thing that's different there is training. She went from AKA to where she had been for a while training for this fight to working at Tiger with the Hickmans and Alex and everyone who was there at that school, and that training methodology, and like you see how important a good coaching team is, right? And like she was like just like she was destroying people. It was like night and day, like not even the same person. Like, so it's a testament to that training methodology. So if you want to pick a place to train and you want the most serious training with the most serious people, it'd be Bangkok for sure. They're talking about music here. A pad Thai visa for foodies. You know what? Like maybe a food tour visa would be like a foodie visa could be a good thing actually. Like if you're really trying to build tourism, right? Like a food visa to like not just learn to cook, but experience food, because you've got all the different styles of food around Thailand. Central Thai, Lana, Isan, Southern Thai, right? Like all those foods are different, right? Imagine being able to get a 90-day visa, right? You spend, like, you get to pick, like, I'm going to do a month in Isan, like, learning to make samtam and, like, just spicy, crazy food. Or I'm going to spend a month up north and learn all the variants of cow soy.
Oh.
Or I'm going to go down south and just make hat yai fried chicken for a month and master that recipe. Right? Like, that would be a cool visa, like, but you would need more cooking schools available, like Thai cooking schools here to attract people.
And you need new clothes.
Yeah, right? You're just cooking nonstop. But yeah, that's a great idea, right? Overall, like, if you want to experience, like, Thai culture, like a cooking visa would really be great. But yeah, you would definitely need cooking schools for sure. Eric says 1 year food visa, sign him up. Yeah, right. I think a lot of people would jump on that for sure, Eric.
Cooking school here, we have cordon bleu.
Yeah, no, but not Thai cooking. Like cordon bleu is like French.
I know.
Like eggs with no brown. Right? Or like maybe croissant.
Oh.
But yeah, I would definitely, I think that would be popular, man, for sure. Like if you could do a 1 year cooking visa, cultural visa to travel around and just eat. Like imagine like, even if it's 90 days, right? Like you spend a month and just focus on one style of Thai food and then you go somewhere else. So you spend 3 months. You could spend 3 months learning khao soy for sure. Right, all the variants, all like the different styles, like and all the little side dishes that you can make with it, or all the other, like you learn all the northern dishes that complement khao soy, right? You could definitely do that. Like if there was like I'm sure, you know, if there was like a 90-day New Haven pizza visa, I'd be all over it. But yeah. Okay, so Seth said definitely casual training. I'm not coming to be the champ, but I like legit training. Yeah, so Bang Tao or...
Pet Indi, mai?
Yeah, Pet Indi, yeah.
It's in Bangkok.
Yeah, right near Jiv's neighborhood, family neighborhood. But yeah, I think like there's places everywhere. There's Bangkok, there's Pattaya, there's Phuket, there's Chiang Mai, you know, there's places everywhere.
It depends where you would like to stay.
Yeah. But like I said, like I think best... overall, for like, especially if you're just looking to train like with like world champions, like Bang Tao is the gym right now.
You say casual.
Casual, yeah, but I'm just like, that's casual to me. Fairtex. But the problem with Fairtex is it's in Pattaya, and like if you like the beach, like Pattaya's got the worst beaches in my opinion. They're just dirty, filthy beaches, right? But I would go to Phuket. Like if you want to if you want that beach kind of experience. But yeah, Pet Indi, if you want Bangkok, if you want that urban experience, yeah, that's the one. And a lot of world champions out of there as well. Again, I don't know like how casual, like an actual Thai gym. This is the thing, like Bang Tao, like the guys who own it and run it are American, right? So they understand like kind of creating like tiers of training, like not everyone's coming in to be the world champ, right? So they're gonna have like classes for people to pop into. But like if you go to something like Pet Indi, like Thai schools don't really do that. Like real Thai Muay Thai schools, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, your first day, sparring with the world champ, right? Don't die, right? And that's how that mentality of like Muay Thai gets built, though. It's like you're just gonna get beat up for like the first like year. It's like if you do jujitsu, right? Like when you do jujitsu, you get beat like nonstop for the first year, right? Which is not that bad because like when you're getting beat up in jujitsu, you're just getting kind of controlled and choked and armbarred. It's not that big of a deal. You're not leaving with like you don't hurt the next day, right? But you get beat up in Muay Thai. It's like you're taking leg kicks all day. You're taking body shots. Like that's not fun, right? And like that level of physicality is much higher in a high impact sport like that. Let's see. Zero drop pizza, yeah, zero flop pizza Visa. I'd be all about it, right? Go somewhere and just eat. Like, see, you can't go to Italy because they love that floppy Neapolitan style. Too much. But yeah, I think a cooking visa could be it, babe. What do you think?
Can.
Yeah. I think like that would make a lot of sense. It'd kind of be a natural progression to the idea of like that soft power food development around the world. Now, one other thing that popped up was the German president visited Thailand.
Okay.
I don't know. Not really sure whether he came for the beer or what, but or maybe he came to import the beer. But yeah, I think that's part of this whole like sort of develop more visa initiative as well. Oh, I want to show these. This is a prototype, something I've been working on with a boot maker here in Thailand. I needed some new motorcycle boots. So these are the prototype for that boot. And I went with this wide natural toe box on the boot. That's all I'm going to show for now because there'll be a little like a mini dock built around the actual boot itself. We've been going through the process back and forth. And so a little prototype, just a kind of sneak peek at it again. You can see the what will be the padded area. The actual boot design has changed quite a bit on this one, but I think it'll end up being a really good little mini dock. Jim's gonna put a foot in it to see how. Yeah, go ahead, you can. But I want to go with that wide toe box. Because when you ride, right, your toes can get really cramped. So having that wide toe box really, gives you like a very relaxed, natural kind of, toe spread. And even now, like since I've lived in Thailand, the shoes I wear every day are very wide, and I'm barefoot a lot more than I would be in the States, and my toes have splayed out quite a bit. And you really do notice you have like, better balance. Like your feet just feel healthier, better overall. Now with this one, let me see this. It's not a completely flat, natural profile. We did end up doing a bit of a heel because obviously when you're riding the bike, you want to be able to like lock that heel in on something as opposed to like your foot just slipping all over the place. But yeah, I went with the 10-inch. And I'll show you guys when the actual boots are done. We can make do a little mini dock on them, and then you'll see the boots in my motorcycle videos. But yeah, completely customized with the design, working with the boot maker to really dial this in. And it's one of those things where you can make a big difference in the way something feels and something functions when you're working with like a real craftsman. And actually Jib is now working on a design project with the same bootmaker on a custom shoe that still under wraps until it's finished, but it's for a competition. And Jib will be doing some embroidery on the project to really help like sort of pull out the design of it. But yeah, it's I think those types of collaborations can really be beneficial overall. What do you think, like right now, like with the embroidery side that you're doing on the shoe, what do you think of, because the shoe design is pretty wild in general, right? What do you think?
Not sure.
You
I can try.
Wait to see when it's done.
Yes. Have to try.
Yeah.
Because normally I think if you do embroidery on a shoe, it's going to be like a silk
Yeah.
or like modern style going to be like canvas. But
Well-
this is leather.
Well, I think that the thing that makes it work for this is the shoe will never be worn.
Right.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just for show. Like that. So it's only one shoe.
Yes.
And it doesn't even have to be wearable. It just has to be a certain size and look a certain way. So, like functionally, if you were to do this on a shoe that someone, it'd be ruined the first time someone put it on, right? Because you get your foot in, it would break all that cording. But to do it like on a shoe that's just for show, right? It can be put up and displayed and look good, right? So that's part of it. And I find that interesting, right? The idea, and it gives, I think, it gives some freedom to the designer for the competition, like the people who enter, because you can push the design limits and aesthetic limits to another level, not having to worry about what's functional and what's not. Like one of the things he was telling me, like people who, there's, you know, when you build the shoe, you punch in the last, and you secure the sole with the welt, and normally, you know, there's like a few stitches per inch, right? That they put in, because there's just like with sewing fabric, right? There's a density that is optimal for strength. But one of the things that they found with this competition, people were really pushing the limit of how many stitches they could fit into that inch on the welt. So like instead of 3, they were doing 20. Right? And it makes this really high density kind of stitch thing, but it's not stronger. More stitches in that same space is not stronger. It's actually weaker, because there's more tension on less material. So it's aesthetic, not function. And that's what the competition is for, aesthetic, not function. Like, even the sole that he's making for this competition.
You can find this thing in a women's shoe.
Yeah, right. The ones that you actually have to wear.
Yes. And we can wear it.
Right. So wearing high heels, there's no function to that. It's just aesthetic. I saw a woman the other day wearing like heels at maybe 3 inches, which I know that's not high by standard, but it's a lot. Right. And there were super narrow heels, but it looks like she had attached like some type of platform on the bottom of them. So it's like much wider. But even like you see people walk with heels, and like the way they step isn't natural. Like that you can't, like, you know, when you're wearing a sneaker, you kind of roll your foot. Right? When you're wearing heels, you're kind of lifting your foot and moving.
I don't know. I used to run in heels.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, another one that popped up in the news was, I thought this was funny. A police officer's wife was caught selling illegal e-cigarettes that her police officer husband had confiscated from other people. What do you think about that, babe?
It sounds like common story here.
Common. Pretty typical thing.
Yes. It's just like being caught or not. That's it.
No. Real quick, jump back. We'll talk about this in a second. But Seth says he really appreciates the wide toe. It is great. I think these are going to be super comfortable. I think that toe box makes a huge difference, that natural toe box. And I think this boot will be, once the design's finalized, I think it may be something that he makes available. So if he does, like we'll talk about it on here. And obviously the documentary, you'll be able to see the process. They're handmade in his shop, and quite amazing. He's got a lot of craftsmen working there, and it's, you know, very high quality. But like I said, as the documentary concludes and we finish shooting all this, you'll get to see the process of how boots are made, these type of custom designs. And I think this will probably be something that he makes available as a product that you can order. But even the last, this is a custom last to make this boot. So it's quite quite intricate in like coming up with this concept. Like I didn't see any, when you look at boots, especially for motorcycling boots, there's nothing that has a wide toe box generally. They're all kind of much more, even like a rounded work boot, but it's more narrow at the front, right? So to find something this wide, to be able to do something this wide, and it's only because he does custom barefoot shoes for like, he'll make dress shoes for people that have that barefoot aesthetic so that they can have comfortable feet at work. And, you know, whereas dress shoes generally get real narrow. And he makes very narrow dress shoes as well. I mean, that's a style people really like, but you know, this wide toe, this natural toe box had become very popular. So he kind of took it up, and we're able to sort of merge that into a boot design as well. I never wore shoes until about the 4th grade, always barefoot or with slippers. When Keone says slippers, he means flip-flops. Flip-flops, everyone. Yeah, no, I think that's, you know, you ever see like kid shoes too. Kid shoes look very restrictive. Like kid shoes are very narrow. Like baby shoes.
Is it?
Well, here kids don't wear shoes like that. Babies don't wear shoes.
No, they have.
But I mean, how often do you see a baby with shoes? They're usually
How old, like when you say baby?
like less than a year.
Then no.
But in America,
You
they
just
sell
wear,
sneakers for kids
like
that age.
socks.
Yeah. And,
Because they're not gonna walk.
and I think most babies here end up wearing flip-flops more than anything. Or Crocs now. I see a lot of kids with Crocs.
My niece has it.
Yeah. But I think like, not wearing shoes definitely changes I won't say it changes your foot function, right? If you don't wear them as a kid, it keeps your foot function as it should be naturally, right? Whereas like when we wear shoes in America as adults, like everything feels like it's sort of crushing and holding your foot into place. And having gone to, what's that?
Mosquito.
Having gone to wearing wider shoes in general and like not wearing shoes a lot of the time, wearing flip-flops more often, you really do get a difference in your foot. And like I said, with these motorcycle boots that we're designing, like sort of in collaboration with Don, it's really, shows you what's available when you take good craftsmanship. Oh, Jib's got these new foam. Not my feet don't fit. When you take quality craftsmanship and merge it with like good design aesthetic and like research on what's viable, you can end up with something like this. And that works good. Now, there are applications where like you need a more narrow boot, like cowboy boots that are made for riding horses, right? They have to get their foot into the stirrup, and that's why they come to that point to help kind of guide it in. So there is function to some footwear, but
it look good, like the narrow.
Yeah, and I think some people like that more narrow aesthetic. The problem is if you have wide feet, you're destroying your toes. Like even my pinky toe, you can see it's much better than it was, but for years and years it was just stuck right into my other toe. So, from wearing like running shoes and more, like Jib's toes look much more natural than mine. Mine, you can tell my pinky toe is clearly crushed comparatively to yours.
Maybe you broke it on the mat.
I have broken all my toes, but it's more from the shoes I wore growing up. Like these very narrow, tight shoes. Especially as a kid, right? I had very wide feet younger. And like playing sports and you wear cleats. And none of those came wide.
What is that? Cleats
are like shoes with spikes on them. They all had like a more narrow foot base. Oh, so says up here, do you know Suple Pili Mo, my tattoo artist friend in OKC? Samantha is friends with his wife. Getting into like OKC conversations here now. Okay. Someone never wore shoes. Of course, Keone. Keone knows everyone. If they're from Hawaii, that like everyone's Keone's cousin or brother or something like that. Like they all know each other. I'm convinced. Like he's like, if you're Hawaiian, Keone knows you. Yeah, no, Mr. Yule, 100% agree, and that's all. Jib very much believes in that same thing, which is why she takes her. You take like the craft of the painting and embroidery very seriously because it is dying, and you said you see that even at the Royal Academy where Jib studies or has studied. It's all older people in many classes. Jib's the youngest person, so. When you did embroidery, you were the next to youngest.
Yes.
And then the youngest to you was only, 1 or 2 years younger than you?
Yeah, just a year younger.
Yeah, so think about that. It was 12 people in your class for embroidery?
7.
Just 7. And how old? The oldest was like 70-something? The auntie who had high blood pressure?
She was 63 or 64 at that time.
Yeah. So it's a much older craft now, and like not a lot of younger people are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
With painting, it seems to be quite a bit younger people.
I think because of a younger generation, most of them can't be patient. Sit still, do something. They would like to do something that quick,
Yeah.
like finish it quick, or I don't know, because like. Where I study is very quiet.
Yeah.
Like no computer actually. It's like nothing that you would see in auto school.
Yeah.
Very quiet that you can hear like a noise from compressor because no one talk.
Yeah.
They just focus on that work. And I think younger students, they cannot do this. They would like to have like, surround by thing that quick.
Maybe. But yeah, I agree that, craftsmanship, especially for these older things, like these older arts, we do have to keep them alive because it's very easy to have things go fully automated or to have them sort of changed by
Now
technology.
some try to order AI to create traditional image, which is just not. Some looks nice, but I can tell it's incorrect for the detail. Of course, cannot.
The scary thing about AI in that regard too is it will never be as bad as it is right now. It's just getting better and better. Now, but let's talk about that for a minute because you had one of the masters that visited the school talk about, art doesn't have to be perfect, right? Kind of teased you like, oh, there's no soul in your art, right? But to his point, right, that's part of the artistic aspect of it, that imperfection is human.
Yes.
And those imperfections make something beautiful. Right. So even if you're striving, right, and as an artist, as a craftsperson, you are always striving for perfection, to be better. But those imperfections that you get in the system really do make it, or in the final product, do make it unique, and that uniqueness is beautiful. Now, imperfections like painting a Hanuman orange, not so much, or embroidering a Hanuman orange, that doesn't make it beautiful. That just makes it weird, right? Whereas, like the diamond in his mouth not being perfect, or like one of the faces on Tosakan's crown being a little crooked, right, or having one eye too big, right? Those things are add uniqueness. I talk about this when I was teaching photography composition because we talk about symmetry and asymmetry in composition, and also like that leads into a talk about like human perspective on faces and things. And there's these methodologies to measure symmetry in a face. And then there's 2 famous actors I use an example of asymmetrical features being beneficial and unique. And one of them is Forrest Whitaker, who has, in my opinion, one of the greatest actors alive. His 2 eyes are very different, right?
Yes.
He has one eye that I don't know if it's lazy or droopy or whatever, but one eye is very different than the other, but one that makes him memorable, right? When you see him, like, oh, you know, but his acting is just so powerful, right? It's like you half the time you just kind of look past anything like how he looks in general because his acting is like so strong that you get lost in those characters. And then the other one that I talk about when I talk about asymmetry being unique and appealing is Tom Cruise. He has his teeth are off center. You can often find photos of him where they draw a line down the middle of his face and one of his front teeth is centered under his nose. So his top teeth are shifted, right? But his smile is like electric. When you see him smile, it's like, oh, he lightens up everything he does. So again, like asymmetry, imperfection is perfect in a lot of ways, right? And it adds uniqueness, it adds value. And I think like those two actors, specifically when you talk about like facial symmetry, Forrest Whitaker, Tom Cruise, very asymmetrical faces, very, very unique, very perfect in a lot of ways. And, you know, the same thing with art, right? That I know that especially with what you're doing, a lot of symmetry is important right now, right? With the painting, but sometimes it's those asymmetrical elements that add interest.
But I mean, like, I don't mean to make it a symmetry.
Well, so sometimes you do like your backgrounds will be geometrically symmetrical, but your subjects might be asymmetrical compositionally, and I think those are some of your most interesting work.
Which one?
You've done a couple where like there's a lot of geometric symmetry in the building or in the background elements, but then your subject obviously is asymmetrical, or your subjects are asymmetrical in the composition. I think that adds a really nice contrast to your work that makes the image really stand out. Is when you're able to balance those symmetrical backgrounds or building patterns with the asymmetrical subjects that you put in your work. I think that's really interesting.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, Seth asked, what size? I got big feet, dude. I wear like a size 48, which is like a 13 and a half, extra wide. So like a triple E width shoe. I have very large feet. You can see it if I like just look how big this is. I mean, it's like that's my size. This is the prototype, but that's my size shoe. So yeah, I have very large feet, Seth. And unfortunately, for me, the biggest size you can generally in 90% of cases in Thailand is a 45. So I'm fortunate that Nanyang makes up to a 48, and their shoes actually run big. So I can wear a 47 or a 48 depending on the shoe, and they're very wide, so it fits me good. I think Nanyangs are probably the best shoes I've ever worn, not just because they're the only shoes that fit me in Thailand, but just in general, that they're made in Thailand with Thai materials, rubber soles from Thai rubber trees, canvas made in the Thai textile industry, and they're affordable, and they're actually damn cheap.
For a student.
I mean, it's not even that it's affordable; it's that it's damn cheap. And they last a long time. Like I've had Nanyangs for years, years that I've had this shoe, and you know they last me like at least 2 years. And the soles wear out is what happens. If I didn't weigh so much, right, the soles would probably last 3-4 years, right? I walk through them. I walk holes in the bottom of my shoes. But they're very grippy. They're comfortable. They're zero rise sole as well, so there's no heel on them, and you get a very natural walking style with that as well. And it's just a great shoe overall, and I like the style of it. The cap toe is I always like Chucks, but Chucks are too narrow for my feet. I could never wear them. So the Nanyangs give me that option.
Wrap your feet.
What's that?
Wrap your feet.
Yeah, I could.
That.
No, I'm not gonna bind my feet. I'm not Chinese. But the other thing, I'm waiting for Nanyang to make a high top. That's what I really want. A high top sneaker, like the one. Remember they had in their thing, and I was like, "Hey, how can I get these?" And they were like, "Oh no, it's just for a show." Yeah.
Because none of the student can wear it unless like they're university student, which
Yeah.
is when like they graduate from high school,
Yeah.
they're gonna wear like different shoes anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, it's funny because a lot of Thai people like kind of joke with me that I wear nanyangs, right?
Because you look student.
Yeah.
Like they know that when you wear this,
Yeah.
like you're student.
But I like them. They're comfortable. They're great shoe, and they're literally $10. It's a $10 shoe that lasts me 2 years. Now, yes, I have all the limited editions, so like those are 1,000 baht. Those are $30. So I have a $30 shoe that lasts me 2 years. Actually, longer because I don't wear the limited editions as often. I almost always wear the white or the black. But I have the reds. I have the PK5s, which are the black and white, which I love. Those are the best looking ones in my opinion. So the Liverpool Reds, I have the PK5s, and I have the Forest Conservation or Wildlife Conservation shoes, which are like a camouflage, which I wear. I wear them all a lot. Like if I go out on the weekend, I'll throw any of those on. But day to day, I wear the black or the white ones. Those are my go-tos. It's funny because I like the white ones when they get dirty, right? Like when they're shiny, brand new white, I don't love them. Like I want them to be like kind of.
You know, like when I was in school, it's like everyone try to beat each other with like how white you can make your shoes look. Like normally we change once a year.
Yeah.
When we like grow up, you
Yeah.
know. So then like for the second semester, it's look not white
Yeah.
anymore. So then we kind of try to compete each other with like
Who can make it the whitest?
Yeah.
No, for me, I just like it kind of grimy looking. I like it. It's like get a little dirt on there, because it looks worn, right? I mean, it looks like used. And when it's too bright, when it's too new and like perfectly white, any little mark is annoying. But when they're beat up, it's like, hey, who cares? I spill some soup on it, whatever. That's fine.
Thai will call it men mai.
Men mai, what's that?
Men is like smell bad.
Oh.
So
Good,
new
good.
is mai.
Yo, Apple, what's up, man? And then Mr. Yule said, yeah, without craftsmanship, we lose the soul. Yeah, absolutely. We lose culture, tradition, generic, mass manufactured goods. Yeah, no, I fully agree, Mr. Yule. You look at like everything from shoemaking to clothing to paint. I mean, like everything is, you could lose it all. And like, granted, right, there's a place for manufactured stuff, right? Because we can't clothe, feed, produce art for 8 billion people if everything's done one at a time by hand.
This is handmade.
Yeah, you made this, right?
Yeah.
Handmade shirt by Jib back in the day. Haven't knitted anything in a while, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Like you've got to have craftsmanship. I think if you look at like a handmade shoe or boot versus like a manufactured sneaker or a shoe, like I couldn't buy a $10 nanyang if each one was handmade. Right? It's a rubber sole that's glued onto a canvas upper, but someone still has to sit there and sew it to stitch the shoe, right? And then put it together, right? So we even like at that level, like, it's very difficult to think of something that's 100% manufactured without human intervention. But to see the difference in quality and construction to a purely handmade boot is really important. And, again, the livelihood of it, the culture of it. Mr. Yule says, I remember hearing many craftsman roles in Thailand are often Burmese, not enough Thais that want to get into the profession. Well, I think a lot of trade positions in Thailand are done by Burmese. Like, construction, electrical, plumbing. A lot of that's looked as just labor work. And I think as well, like one of the things in Thailand's education system is vocational jobs are often viewed as not, would you say they're not viewed as being professional, trade, like vocation or trade jobs?
I think because family, let's say family, just would like their kid to graduate from university.
Yeah.
No matter what faculty. Just like, okay, graduate from university, let's get a good name.
Yeah.
So they just kind of abandon the vocational school. So, and because of some of it has a bad look, like I think last week you talked about the two schools beat each other at MBK.
Yep.
That's the one of representative of those school.
Yeah.
And in the other area, they fight too, but just not on the news because that's far away or not in the center of the city. So then the family will think, oh, do not go to vocational school because you're going to get fired and some get killed.
Yeah.
Like the case in Krong Tay that they get shot.
Yeah.
So that's why not many students go to vocational school. And when they go, it's like the senior, like kind of
Hazing,
brainwash them to like get into the fight and not really like focus much on study.
But I think also from a profession perspective, like a lot of the vocational schools, the jobs that you get afterwards maybe aren't viewed as professional by Thais. So like if you work as like electrician or plumber, it's not really considered as good as like say an office job would be for
people
a lot
will
of
look at
Thais.
like, oh, graduate and work in the office, like work like 8 to 5, get pay at the end of the month, like it's nice, you don't have to sweat. But they don't think of like there might be other type of people would like to do stuff like different.
Yeah.
Like if it's me sitting in office all day, it's a hair boring.
Yeah.
But if my hands keep working, I like it. But of course, I cannot do like the construction job, of course. I'm not strong enough to do that. But I mean, like, do something with like hands. I like.
But I think there's like a perception gap, I'll call it, in Thailand, where a lot of Thais don't view, say, electricians as skilled as craftsmen or plumbers as skilled craftsmen.
I think, they don't think of like that's a skill, that's a craftsman.
Or like even like aircon people as like craftspeople, right? Because if you think about, right, an aircon person has to understand electrical.
Yep.
They have to understand plumbing because they're soldering all these joints together. They have to understand the control system of the aircon. There's a lot of skills there, and the fact that their labor is not perceived as skilled in some ways. In many ways, a lot of times I think, there's a lot of the aircon people who do work, maybe they are just labor people. They come in, they lift, they move it, and then there's a lot of it's plug and play. But there's a big market in house building for skilled electricians, skilled plumbers, and I think like that industry hasn't been perceived as qualitative or as a high quality job in Thailand. Now, labor costs have a lot to do with that. But like in America, I went to high school with someone who went to college, got a business degree, has an MBA, and then went on to, work in the plumbing industry as a plumber. And most likely a millionaire now, right? I have a friend who's an electrician in the U.S., started out, went to vocational high school in the U.S., became an apprentice electrician, then journeyman electrician, became a master electrician, which is not even, you don't even need to go to master to make a good living. As a journeyman, as a skilled, experienced journeyman electrician, you can make six figures, right? Like 3-4 million baht a year, 5 million baht a year. But he went and became a master electrician, started his own company so he could take bids on doing electrical and high-rise developments and office buildings, and became much more of a, now, no college degree, right? I think he took some college classes at some point for like certification or something as a master electrician, but like didn't graduate college, just went to vocational school, and by the time he graduated high school, he was almost a journeyman. Right, and now he is like a multi-millionaire. Right, by running his own business, doing electrical jobs. He employs like 20 electricians for jobs. So, you know, he's taken that skill. Now, granted, he's an outlier, but a journeyman who makes $100,000 a year is not. That's kind of average. So, like, those trades are important. And when we talk about craftsmanship too, like we look at electrical a lot when we talk about interior design, me and you, and we see the electrical with the conduit and everything, and like that takes craftsmanship as well. That takes not just knowledge of electrical systems, but, you know, pipe fitting and aesthetics and how to make that work. So there's a lot to it that, you know, needs to be considered, as well as much as with painting or embroidery or shoemaking or sewing, you know, or 1,000 other crafts like amulet making in Thailand. You know, like all these things are important. Seth says here, I always wanted handcrafted products over a machine. Yeah, no, Jib and I often talk about, like, you know, buying things that are like lifetime products versus like fast fashion type stuff, or things that are like more manufactured. Ramblin' Rogues, what's going on? I'm a fan of design work, remembering Dapper Villain's overcoat, carry bag, now the real football. Yeah, thank you, man, very much, and greetings all. I gotta refresh the comments because they're free. I don't know what's up with this plugin. I might have to update the plugin or something. Why it's locking up like this. Where were we? Yeah. Interesting when learning a traditional art, it takes time to learn and do. Once you learn, become faster doing it, and you'll learn. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you talk about Kyone's traditional tattooer.
Learn the rules to break.
Talk about, you know, like, you know, with tattoos, a lot of AI apps now for tattoo design. But if you remember the movie Starship Troopers, when they all got the tattoos, right, they weren't actually tattooed on. They put it in like some type of machine that like burned it into the skin, right? So you think about like the future of tattooing could very much be that, Keone, versus like the hand tap style that you do. You know, you think about like, now obviously no one's doing machines yet to like burn it into the skin, but you know, it gets depicted that way. That is sort of the way that technology advances. Yeah, in the future could be something where it's like you AI designs the design, you print it on some special thing, put it in a machine that just, you know, puts it in the skin some way. That could very much be the future of tattooing, and it would lose, you know, where someone like Keone, or even someone who uses the machine now, the rotary or the coil machine now, would be the craftsman compared to the guy who opens the shop and slaps on the machine, you know? So it's interesting to think about that dichotomy. Always been a little grimy too. I like to be comfortable in my shoes and like them. Yeah, no, definitely, right? You know, wear them through everything, get them a little dirty. Yo, Darren, man, thanks for swinging by, bro. Have a good one. I'll chat soon. Oh, thank you very much, Ramblin' Rogues. Uncle Craig, what's going on? The Bonoke. How goes the pizza kitchen? I'm very curious. This is a topic of discussion. So I want Uncle Craig, let me know, like, I know you said are you gonna make your own charcoal? Is that what you were thinking for the pizza oven? Because we were at a place last night and they were using charcoal in the little grill. It was like this industrial charcoal with the hole in the middle. Yeah. But I was like in my mind, I'm like, I don't think this is hot enough for.
Because it's just small amount.
But like different charcoals burn at different heats.
I know.
Right, so I was thinking it's not hot enough for a pizza oven. Also, Uncle Craig's got to figure out his masonry material to hold the thermal energy. Right, you need enough thermal energy to get the pizza crispy.
Oh.
Right, so you got to preheat it with like 4 or 5 loads of charcoal, get it preheated, then you start cooking pizza.
Then it's not worth the money.
Oh, then it's worth.
No.
Actually, Darren was telling me that vegan table has closed. The restaurant down on Soy 11, vegan
Okay.
table. They used to have a pizza oven there, and I was like, oh, they're selling the pizza oven. It's one of those big masonry dome ovens. It'll go perfect in my garden. You'd kill me though, huh? If I bought a big pizza oven. Yeah. It's big enough to cook like 4 or 5 pizzas at a time. Not happening?
No. You can move to live in Sak Yant with Kyone.
Need to make it. Oh, see, now some of these pop up. Where were we? Always wanted to hand tap tattoo over machine. Oh yeah, says it's on his bucket list to get hand tap tattoo. Hey, come to Thailand, we'll make it happen. Bring you over to Ajahn. All these on my arm, all hand done, on my chest, hand tap.
Get a tiger, see, like yeah.
Yeah, no, don't do the collarbone. That's the
No,
worst.
I mean like.
Oh yeah, on the
across
chest. Yeah.
2 tigers.
It's definitely an experience, man. It's definitely something. When the documentary on Sak Yant is done, you'll see it's like it's a very unique experience. It's interesting because like I'll call it the resolution of the tattoo. The resolution is much lower than like a machine tattoo, right? In general. For this Sak Yant style.
It's just a dot.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the resolution as far as like see how detailed, like I have like this sewing machine tattooed on me that is really, really detailed, fine detail done with a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the hand poke one, the resolution, so to speak, on it is much lower. But I mean, yeah, I do love them like so much more, right? There's something about it. And you know, it's funny because it's not about the aesthetic with the Sak Yants. It's about like the meaning, the process, everything that goes into it. It's really interesting. Let's see. I got to keep hitting the refresh on this. Uncle Craig says, I'll make charcoal for the grills. I use cut wood for the pizza oven. Probably cook all morning before throwing in pizzas. Yeah. No, I think you gotta do instead wood fire pizza. Wood has too much moisture, right? When you use it for pizza oven, you gotta make charcoal, throw that in the pizza oven, get it really hot because that's a drier heat. That's how you get that crispy coal-fired pizza. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Like wood fire is more Neapolitan style. You get that floppy kind of soft pizza. Pizza sounds good though.
You're not gonna eat until evening.
No, I'm starting to get hungry. I didn't eat as much as you yesterday.
Because you order.
Yeah. You know, I clearly... So, we were at the buffet last night, like I was talking about at Best Beef. And I was ordering for Jib, and I maybe ordered too much. And she ended up, like, you know, there's, like, too many plates at the end. Where I was just ordering, like, small stuff for myself. But, like, for her, it was her, Jam, and Keone eating the beef and pork. So I was like, well, let me order that. I think it was funny when I was like, you guys want chicken? You're like, no.
No.
And then, the Wagyu. You like the Wagyu trimmings that came with it? You can throw that in there, render out the fat. Yeah. Yeah, it was overall good. I blew up an egg. I put an egg on the grill, and it blew up.
To me.
It hit Jib. So the ice cream. Let's talk about the ice cream you said was really weak.
Yeah, it's... I don't call it ice cream.
Was it the texture or the flavor, or what about it?
Flavor and texture is like... Well, let's say it's feel like slurpy.
Oh, really? So not even...
That's like icy thing, like it's not even like creamy. It's like, oh.
The flavor, right? As long as it's creamy in texture, you can kind of get away with the flavor not being what you expect. But when you expect like ice cream, because it's soft serve, it's just soft serve ice cream.
Don't call it soft serve. Please
But-
don't.
No, it's not creamy enough to be soft serve.
No.
Wow. I'll talk about one other thing. Over on Friday night, my friend Corpus, who's a hip hop artist, Thai hip hop artist, invited me to a listening party for his new EP. And so my buddy Matthew came out with me. We went out and over at this place in Ossoak, and he played his new album for about 20 of us there in general. And I posted, there's a couple clips up of it on my IG and the stories if you get a chance to see it. So he already dropped the first song. He's dropping a new track every 3 days on YouTube. You can search Corpus Hip Hop is his YouTube channel. And I liked it. It really had a 90s vibe to a lot of the hip hop that he did. Now Corpus is my age, so that's to be expected. But I mean the sound and style of it was really great, and it was interesting. He had like so many unique features on the tracks. I thought it was fun, and obviously going to a listening party like that, getting to hear it before it's released, is always fun, and interesting. And I really liked it, and I thought the music was good. But check out Corpus Hip Hop on YouTube. And I think you guys may enjoy the music as his new ones drop. I've actually directed a music video for him. So for another project that he was working on. And great dude, fun guy. Very hardworking, very creative guy. Very hardworking. He's got like 12 kids. No, it's like 5, I think. All right, Mr. Yule, have a good one. Oh, Uncle Craig said, and so it shall be done. All right, so coal-fired pizza at Uncle Craig's. All right, waiting for that oven. I think with that, kind of wrap it up this morning, get to work on some other stuff. So, guys, I want to thank you for rocking with us, as always. Had fun talking about all the stuff that went on this week in Bangkok. Glad I got the schedule right for this week and schedule it for Sunday. I'll double check that from now on. Make sure I don't schedule it for Saturdays. But yeah, great week. Thank you for rocking with us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.